Udah bisa mulai belum? Dari Parify mana? Oh itu dia. Baru mau ngomong Parify mana. Punya ininya juga apa? Speakernya apa narasumbernya udah ada juga. Pak Erwansyah Adab Diriat. Belum mulai kayaknya.
Tes 1, 2, 3. Can you listen to me? Tes, Pak Irwansyah. Bisa dengar?
Ya, Pak.
Selamat pagi.
Pak Kodir, ya, Pak.
Selamat pagi. Good morning to all of you. Morning.
Pak Ibrahim Ahmad Al-Fili. كيف حالكم؟
أهلا وسهلا.
كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله، كيفكم؟
تمام.
أهلا وسهلا.
Ini dia yang sebelah kanan ya, Pak Muhammad ya. Muhammad. Pak Dirjen yang sebelah kiri.
Ya.
Oh ya. Pak Dirjen, selamat siang Bapak.
Selamat siang, Pak. Komandan. Salam kenal.
Terima kasih nih udah berkenan untuk hadir ini. Wah, luar biasa.
Ya, Pak.
Siapa lagi yang ini?
Dari BP POM sudah hadir?
Yang penting kan setelah saya Pak Dirjen dulu.
Hadir, Pak.
Ya, terima kasih. Ibu Reri atau Bu siapa ya? Nanti akan...
Mohon izin Pak, pada saat ini Ibu Deputi masih ada acara nanti akan bergabung, namun saya diutus untuk standby di sini sebentar. Nanti
baik.
Ibu akan bergabung.
Baik, terima kasih Bu. Terima kasih. Mungkin 5 menit lagi kita akan mulai. From SFDA, you already monitor?
Hello.
Hello, marhaban.
Hi, how are you?
You are from SFDA?
Yes, I am from Industrial and Investment Support Center from Customer Service.
Customer Service. Will the speaker from SFDA?
No, I'm waiting for my colleagues.
Oh, who is your colleague?
Mr. Ali Al-Khalaf and Mr. Ahmad Al-Hajoj.
Okay, yes. Head of Food Feed Registration Section and Inspection Expert of Rock Facilities. Okay.
And my name is Ragad.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Mulai sebentar lagi.
Udah mulai tambah kan? Pesertanya berapa itu? Masih 46 ya? Kemudian yang daftar berapa Mas Riwai? 300. Wow. masih seperempat ya, seperlima. Tapi ya mudah-mudahan sebentar lagi.
Iya bisa. Belakangan ya.
Nanti aja, ini kelihatan ini.
Mbak Noh, linknya dong Mbak. Linknya ini. Biar saya kirim ke UKM ini tadi.
Mustafa ada di Anda ya? Mustafa belum.
Oh iya, Pak Mustafa belum ya?
Coba nanti kalau kan beliau setelah Pak Anu kan.
Pak Mustafa Ibrahim Al-Bayumi, can you hear me?
أهلا وسهلا.
From the Chief Executive Officer of Al-Rakib.
Yeah.
Mr. Mustafa, can you already monitor? Belum. We are waiting Mr. Mustafa because he will be the one of the presenter today.
Keep.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning, good afternoon, and selamat siang waktu Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all businessmen from Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. We hope that you are still healthy and safe. We have here our Konsul Jenderal yang saya hormati Bapak Eko Hartono, kemudian yang terhormat Bapak Dr. Hasan, Director General of Export National Development, Indonesia Ministry of Trade, distinguished Mr. Dr. Ibrahim Ahmed Al-Khaili, is former Chairman Custom Clearance Committee from Jeddah Chambers of Commerce and Industry, distinguished Mr. Mustafa Ibrahim Al-Bayumi, CEO Al-Rakib, distinguished Mr. Erwansa, Trade Attaché of Indonesia Embassy in Riyadh, and also distinguished representative from Saudi Food, Drugs and Authority, distinguished representative from Indonesia National Agency Drug and Food Control, distinguished participant of webinar, para pengusaha ekspor Indonesia yang kami hormati. The theme of this webinar is enhancing food export to Saudi Arabia amid the COVID-19 outbreak. First of all, I would like to read about the agenda. The first opening speech will be delivered by Mr. Eko Hartono, Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia in Jeddah, and then keynote speech will be delivered by Dr. Hasan, Director General of National Export Development, Ministry of Trade of Republic of Indonesia. And the second term, there will be 3 presentations. The first is Dr. Ibrahim Ahmed Al-Khaili. And then presentation will be followed by Mr. Mustafa Ibrahim. And then Mr. Erwansa from the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Riyadh. And then there is 2 finalists from the Saudi Food Drugs Authority and also from the Indonesian National Agency of Drug Food Control. Every presenter will be given 15 minutes to deliver presentation. And after the presentation, Mr. Rifai Abbas, Director of International Trade Promotion Center, will be the moderator to guide the Q&A section. During the seminar, if you want to ask, please use the Q&A marks in Zoom application, and we will collect the question and we will refer the speaker. Para pengusaha Indonesia yang ingin memberikan pertanyaan, silakan masuk dalam tanda Q&A, ya, Q&A di Zoom application, dan kami akan mengkoleksi pertanyaan Anda dalam bahasa Indonesia atau dalam bahasa Inggris. Nanti akan kita sampaikan kepada pembicara setelah acara selesai. Setelah acara presentasi selesai. Okay, the webinar insya Allah will be last approximately 2 hours until 12 o'clock time of Saudi Arabia, more or less the same 4 p.m. in Indonesia. So due to the time very limited, we will immediately start. Opening speech will be delivered by Mr. Eko Hartono, Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia in Jeddah. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Eko Hartono.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon to all of you. Surely we are very happy to organize this webinar. This is one of our activities to promote trade relations between Saudi Arabia and Indonesia, of course. At this afternoon, we are very glad to have a number of speakers, a number of honorable speakers. And of course, I would like to mention the presence of Dr. Hasan Muhri, Bapak Dirjen. Selamat siang. Thank you so much, Pak Dirjen. The Director General for National Export Development of the Ministry of Trade. And of course, other colleagues from Saudi Arabia, Dr. Ibrahim Ahmad Al-Akhili, the former chairman Custom Brokers Committee, and is now a member of Jeddah Chamber of Commerce. And we are still waiting for the presence of our colleague from Al-Rakib, the CEO of Al-Rakib Universal, Mr. Mustafa Ibrahim. Hope that he will join us soon. And our colleague from our embassy in Riyadh, Bapak Irwansyah. Thank you so much, Pak. He is our trade attaché in Riyadh. And we are also very glad to have the presence of our two colleagues from Drug Authority, Food and Drug Authority, both from Saudi Arabia and from Indonesia. This will, of course, enrich our discussion. Bapak Ibu sekalian, thank you so much as well. Para pengusaha Indonesia yang berkenan hadir dalam kesempatan ini. Because we also invite colleagues from Saudi Arabia, the businessmen from Saudi Arabia. That's why we hold this webinar in English. So I hope that that would not be a challenge, a horrendous challenge for our colleagues in Indonesia. Saya harap teman-teman pengusaha Indonesia juga nanti bisa mengikuti dengan baik ya kegiatan ini. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in a difficult situation because of the COVID. We know that every country has to struggle with this COVID. IMF, the World Bank, and other economic institutions have predicted that economic growth of the world will even shrink further if we cannot cope with this challenge. Of course, Saudi Arabia and Indonesia also have to face the similar challenge. As far as Indonesia is concerned, for instance, it is predicted that our economic growth will shrink between 0.45, I think, until 0.1%, depending on how successful we will be in coping with this challenge. Saudi Arabia is also facing the similar challenges. So even if we have a very strong trade relations between our two countries, but unless we come up with creative ways on how to improve our trade relations in this difficult time, and then we will not be able to improve our trade relations. That is why we hold this webinar, in the hope that all of us, the two sides, businessmen from two sides, supported by institutions from the two sides also, will come up with bold initiatives on how to improve our trade relations. At this webinar, we pick up a very specific issue, that is how to improve our food export to Saudi Arabia. Of course, if I would refer to our, means how to improve Indonesia's food exports to Saudi Arabia. We fully understand the Saudi Arabian market is one of the biggest and very potential ones as far as food commodity is concerned. On the other side, we have also huge potential in terms of our food commodity. Of course, in this difficult time, many of our businessmen, particularly food exporters, are facing serious challenges. But we should not lose our hope. We should not lose our hope. If there's a risk, and then there must be, again, low risk, low gain, high risk, high gain. So at this particular moment, at this difficult time, we should gain as much as we can. And I think from the Saudi point of view, importing more food from Indonesia is also a good as well, to help secure food supply in Saudi Arabia. We know that for many years, Saudi Arabia has been the amazing host for Hajj and Umrah. Unfortunately, this year, Hajj will only be limited to a number of persons, only 1,000 pilgrims. But hopefully next year, starting from next year, when the COVID has been managed, so the Hajj pilgrimage will be able to go back to normal. By then, inshallah, we'll be able to export again our food products to Saudi Arabian market. And this is one of the main purposes of our discussion today. I know that because of the limited time, we cannot have comprehensive discussions on the topics that here at the table. But at least with the presence of us, with the presence of exporters from Indonesia, as well as importers from Saudi Arabia, we can have a thorough discussions on how to penetrate or to improve our market penetration in Saudi Arabian market at this particular time. We will have our Director General who will speak on the strategy on how to enhance food export to Saudi Arabia. We also have colleagues from SFDA, IFDA, that will brief us on regulations of food imports to Saudi Arabia, as well as food export in Indonesia. So hopefully, two of us, the businessmen from two sides, will take benefit of our discussions. Yeah. Of course, I would like to thank again the presence of our presenters, as well as Bapak Dirjen, for your valuable time, and hopefully we'll be able to improve again our food exports, the exports of our food to Saudi Arabia through out of these discussions. Thank you so much for all of you, and hopefully this discussion will bring benefits to all of us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eko Hartono. And before we continue to the Mr. Hasan, we will write to read the CV. Dr. Hasan is currently served as Ministry of Trade and Republic of Indonesia as the Director General for the National Export of Development since May 2020. And before the career is a head of DG, Mr. Hasan was a head of Trade Analysis and Development Agency. He was also expert staff to the Ministry of Trade for International Relations. Mr. Hasan is actively involved in various research, publication, and international trade negotiation activities. He also a long-time researcher. He has published several journals, especially of international trade issue. He also received additional education from the World Bank Institute, from the ASEAN Foundation, and also from the Purdue University of USA. Keynote speech will be delivered by Dr. Hasan. I would like to give the floor to Dr. Hasan.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity for me to deliver our speech in this webinar in title Enhancing Indonesian Export of Processed Food to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Pak Konsul Jenderal of the Republic of Indonesia in Jeddah, thank you so much, Pak, and also distinguished speaker, Dr. Ibrahim Ahmad Mohammed Al-Akili from Custom Broker Committee, Jeddah Chamber. And also maybe we are waiting for Mr. Mustafa Ibrahim Bayumi from Al-Kharif. from Rakit, and also Mr. Erwansa, Indonesian Trade Attaché in Riyadh, Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia. And also we have the representative from Indonesian Food and Drug Authority or BPOM, and also the both side for Food and Drug Authority from Saudi Arabia, associations, Chamber of Commerce, companies from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and also from Indonesia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think because the different time only 2 hours, maybe a bit between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. So good afternoon to all of you in this webinar. So first of all, I would like to thank for joining this virtual forum of enhancing Indonesian export to Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So let me express my appreciation to the Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia in Jeddah, and also Indonesia Trade Attaché in Riyadh, and also the Indonesian Trade Promotion Center in Jeddah, and all business partners that have contributed to making this forum possible. So I have some issues that we hope to deliver in this webinar. The first issue, I think, as we know that the COVID-19 has infected to not only economic but also on trade in global and national. So this is very significant impact of pandemic COVID on all of the countries in the world, particularly in trade sector. And based on our identification and mitigation, so these are some impact during this COVID-19. We have identify the impact to the global trade and also to domestic trade. One of the issues that COVID-19 impacted to our international trade, this is because of disruptive on supply and demand for all of the countries in the world, especially due to the changing of global supply chains led by China, US, and Germany. And also this is impacted to logistics costs, not only in our country in Indonesia, but also for trade flow to other countries. And also the other impact is just we heard the economic crisis in some countries. Singapore yesterday released the economic in quarter second in this year. So this is very deeper on contraction of Singapore economy. And on domestic or national trade is also very significant impact of COVID-19. Disruption of our inter-island trades, and also the changing our consumption pattern in community. So this impact of COVID-19 has the significant to our international trade performance. Hopefully, yes, this afternoon, our Central Bureau of Statistics release our big performance for June in 2020. It already increased compared to May 2020. So, because from March, April, and May, our export has decreased, but we look on June, so our trade is already rebound to increase more than 12 billion dollar in June this year. So I think this is a good signal for Indonesian international trade performance, and we hope these signals and indications will going better for the next future or the rest of this year. And also, I can share to all of you about the performance of Indonesian export of processed food, not only to others in the world, but particularly our export on processed food to Saudi Arabia. So this is performance has given the optimistic to us increase in this COVID-19 situation. But we also challenges. First is about the competitors from our neighbor countries in ASEAN, for example. So this processed food product is a big opportunity in the world for Indonesia because there are a big space for Indonesia to increase our export, not only in volume but also in value. So this is why today we discuss about enhancing our export for processed food to Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So this is the opportunity. On the other hand, we have also the challenges, barriers, or maybe on tariffs or non-tariff measures. So this is our barrier and challenges. And I am very happy because in this event, our representative from Food and Drug Authority or BPOM and also from Saudi Food and Drug Agency join in this event. So because we have issues about the single identity number for exporter, especially for processed food to Saudi Arabia. So I think in this forum, both sides can discuss and also the way forward to solve this barrier or this measure which impacted to our exporter from Indonesia or Indonesian processed food to Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am very happy also because some business players from both sides, from Indonesia and Saudi Arabia, is also taken this event to discuss about the opportunity, not only for exporter who has already export to Saudi Arabia, but also the new exporter maybe, or the newcomer can take the opportunity or take the benefit from this event, how to export to Saudi Arabia and also how to increase our export to Saudi Arabia. In my understanding, Saudi Arabia is big opportunity for us to increase our export. Because we call that Saudi Arabia is captive market for Indonesia. The pilgrim, Hajj, and also during every year, maybe after this year, when the pilgrim will be open again for next year, I think this is a big opportunity for both sides, not only for Indonesian companies, but also for Saudi Arabian importers, especially for processed food products. So this is a big challenge for our exporter, but I also believe that the Saudi Arabian side will be discussed and will be deliver about the opportunity to Indonesian companies. We have many products of food process. Not only we already export to another country in the world, but also we have the processed food product to export not only in Saudi Arabia, but also in Middle East countries. But Saudi Arabia, I think this is one of our big destination country for our processed food products. So the next, why I have to deliver some of strategies and some of our policy to increase our export, especially on processed food, because this is one of our priority sector to increase our national economics. And also we have the policy to recovery our economy in a COVID-19 situation, including contribution of our export. So this is our strategy to increase our export, particularly for processed food products. And another strategies that we have implemented, also we have some short-term strategy and also middle term, and we have our trade representative office in many countries and especially in Saudi Arabia, and also our colleagues from the embassy and also from Consulate General in Jeddah. So this is our strategy to increase our export for processed food, and then we hope this event can increase our export, and then internally in our Ministry of Trade, especially on DG of National Export Development. So we have also the strengthening the role of trade representative in overseas. Our trade attaché and also our Indonesian Trade Promotion Center should, for example, doing market intelligence for market power of our product in these countries, and also looking for another opportunity with the buyers in this country, and also should be actively update the regulation or something like barrier in export destination country. And also the trade representative office should be doing the trade promotion, and also we already facilitation to our exporter for like design, certification, and also facilitating for branding of the exporter who want to increase his or her export. And today, this is one of feedback solicitation that we provide to exporters by webinar like this, and also maybe can move to virtual business matching or export assistance during pandemic COVID-19. So with the discussions and join virtual meeting like this, I hope not only exporter from Indonesia, but also the importer or buyer from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia can discuss more detail, can meet what product the Saudi Arabian importer need and what the exporter from Indonesia can supply. And then the last or the end of this communication between two sides from Saudi Arabia and Indonesia, eventually will be have a deal on trade transaction, for example. So this is what we have done with our trade representative office, and also all the representatives from Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the world, because we have only some representative on trade in few countries, but the rest we have no the representative office for trade. But I think we already communicate with our colleagues from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to increase our export, brings together between our Ministry of Trade and Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And also, we collaborate with our exporter in Indonesia. Diaspora in Saudi Arabia, I think also is one of part for this objective to increase our export. And the last but not least, we should gain advantage from this event and opportunities to increase our export still open, and we have to conduct this activity very fast. And I encourage you all to take this opportunity to connect each other and also to expand our trade flow between Indonesia and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I wish you all the best in your endeavor, and good luck, and have a discussion to increase the trade flow between Indonesia and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Thank you and have a great forum and have a great day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hasan. So we will continue the presentation to Dr. Ibrahim Ahmed Al-Akaili. He is the former chairman of the Custom Clearance Committee, and he was also deputy chairman of the Main Transport Committee Jeddah Chambers. And he was vice chairman of the board director of Arab Union for combating international crime and money laundering. So let's continue the presentation. Mr. Dr. Ibrahim Ahmed Al-Akaili, I'll give the floor to you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. بداية أشكركم على اللقاء وباسم غرفة جدة واسم الجميع أشكركم على هذا اللقاء. وأعتقد معي في المترجم الأخ عبد العزيز راح يشرح لكم ويترجم لكم الموضوع كامل. طبعا اليوم أنا بأتكلم في موضوع الاستيراد بالنسبة لاشتراطات الاستيراد بالنسبة للمملكة العربية السعودية. من اشتراطات السعودية طبعا هي الاستيراد بالنسبة للمواد الغذائية من شقين، اللي هو الجمارك وشق اللي هو الغذاء والدواء. الأخ عبد العزيز معي؟
نعم معك.
تفضل. طبعا تفضل أخ عبد العزيز.
Terima kasih Dr. Ibrahim, mengucapkan terima kasih sudah diundang untuk bisa sharing pengetahuan tentang ekspor dan bisnis di Arab Saudi dan dari Indonesia.
طبعا أنا بحاول أختصر في الأمور لأنه في اشتراطات كثيرة. طبعا من أكبر هموم الدولة عندنا اللي هو موضوع الغذاء وأهميته، وراح أستعرض لكم بشكل سريع بعض الاشتراطات المطلوبة على استيراد الغذاء في المملكة العربية السعودية.
Ya, Dr. Ibrahim akan memberi penjelasan secara singkat bagaimana aturan dan regulasi untuk mengimpor makanan dari Indonesia ke Arab Saudi. Secara singkat.
إذا ممكن الملف أخ عبد العزيز.
Mungkin file PDF-nya bisa ditampilkan.
ممكن تستعرض من عندك الملف ولا لأنه هنا ما هو راضي يستعرض عندي.
Mungkin admin bisa menampilkan PowerPoint beliau.
ما هو راضي يستعرض أخ عبد العزيز. بس أبدأ بالكلام ولين يستعرض الملف من عندك أخ عبد العزيز. طبعا بالنسبة لشق الجمارك خلال السنوات اللي راحت تبعت نظام انهم يختصروا عمليه الاستيراد او عمليه اخراج البضاعه خلال 24 ساعه.
Mengenai langsung aja Dr. Ibrahim akan masuk ke poin terkait Saudi Custom. Saat ini Saudi Custom sedang mengimplementasikan program 24 jam barang bisa langsung keluar.
وطبعا اختصرتها في مستندين اللي هو الفاتوره وبوليصه الشحن، وطبعا بالتنسيق مع الغذاء والدواء واشتراطات الغذاء والدواء حنستعرضها بشكل سريع. طبعا اليوم في عده انظمه موجوده في الغذاء والدواء والجمارك، اللي هو نظام المخاطر، نظام في المسارات السريعه.
Ada beberapa regulasi yang diimplementasikan oleh Saudi Custom untuk menerapkan polisi 24 jam barang keluar, diantaranya invoice dan kerjasama dengan berbagai pihak seperti Saudi Food and Drugs dan TASO jika dibutuhkan.
طبعا بالنسبه لاندونيسيا انا استعرضت في الملف، بس ما ادري اخ عبد العزيز تحاول تنزل لي الملف على تستعرض لي اياه اذا ممكن.
الآن هذا الملف.
تدخلي على السلاش الثالث.
الثالث nomor 3 slide nomor 3 Pak.
أو رقم 4 تفضل.
3 أو 4 3 atau 4.
لأنه من عندي من هنا ما. طبعا هذه الجهات ذات العلاقة بعملية الاستيراد والتصدير اللي هي طبعا عندنا فسح وعندنا هيئة الغذاء والدواء وعندنا الجمارك.
Berikut 3 badan pemerintah yang perlu diperhatikan ketika kita ingin mengimpor barang dari luar Arab Saudi, yaitu Saudi Food and Drugs (SFDA), Saudi Customs, dan FASA.
طبعا بعد كده بنيجي موقع الجمارك، موقع الغذاء والدواء السلاش اللي بعده.
Slide berikutnya, Pak.
رقم 5 بالله يمشي.
Nomor 5, Pak.
طبعا الغذاء والدواء هذا موقعها الرسمي.
Tampilan halaman website SFDA yang resmi seperti ini.
وطبعا بيحتوي على جميع المعلومات كاملة وجميع الاشتراطات بالنسبة للغذاء. نيجي اللي بعده بسمح.
Slide berikutnya.
ممكن. طبعا هنا في اشتراطات العامة بالاشتراك مع الجمارك.
Berikut ada tampilan regulasi secara umum, general requirement, dengan kerjasama dengan Saudi Customs.
هنا معارضه على بشكل فيديو بحسب انواع طبعا البضاعه بحسب اصنافها وكل له اشتراطاته، واعتقد الاخوان كمان في الغذاء والدواء راح يعطوا فكره اكبر عن الموضوع هذا.
Ini video yang ditampilkan menunjukkan regulasi yang dibutuhkan untuk mengimpor produk sesuai jenis produknya, misalkan daging-dagingan atau yang ayam atau yang lainnya.
وطبعا في نفس الفيديو انا مستعرض اللي هو طبعا امكانيه الدخول على اي دوله، تختار الدوله وتختار عمليه تحديد الاشتراطات بالنسبه للدوله، وبالنسبه للبضائع نفسها ايش اشتراطاتها الكامله، كان من شهادات صحيه او شهادات حلال او شهادات ثانيه.
Ya, di website SFDA juga terdapat fitur untuk menentukan regulasi apa yang dibutuhkan per negara. Misalkan kita memilih negara Indonesia, nanti akan ditampilkan regulasi apa atau sertifikat apa yang dibutuhkan untuk produk tertentu yang akan masuk ke Arab Saudi, misalnya sertifikat halal atau sertifikat lainnya.
لو يمشي الفيديو بس قدام شويه بس.
Mungkin kalau videonya bisa ditampilkan.
أو يعطينا السلاش اللي بعده ما هي مشكلة.
Atau slide berikutnya, tidak masalah.
أنا بكمل لين يحول
اوكي، تفضل.
كمان السلاش اللي بعدها أنا حاط فيها اللي هي اشتراطات العامة، وبعد كده أنا حاط اللي هو قائمة بالمواصفات العامة للأغذية.
Di slide berikutnya akan ditampilkan persyaratan secara umum, lalu di slide berikutnya lagi akan ditampilkan persyaratan secara spesifik untuk produk makanan.
طبعا هي واضحة من الشهادات والمطلوب على الأغذية، وحاولت إني أجيب المشاكل اللي بيواجهوها طبعا الإخوان في الغذاء والدواء هنا من ناحية أكثر إشكاليات بيواجهوها مع الإخوان بالنسبة لصادرات إندونيسيا.
Juga akan saya bahas terkait masalah apa saja yang sering dihadapi oleh teman-teman kami dari SFDA, terutama barang-barang yang masuk dari Indonesia.
فعندنا عدة ملاحظات. أول شيء طبعا منها اللي هو شهادة الحلال بعض الأغذية الأندونيسية. غير معتمدة بتكون من رابطة العالم الإسلامي، طبعا هذه بتسبب في إيش؟ رفض المنتج. وطبعا عندنا استيراد لحوم وأسماك من المنشآت الغير معتمدة.
Beberapa masalah yang dihadapi oleh teman-teman dari SFDA untuk produk yang masuk dari Indonesia, diantaranya sertifikasi halal yang masih belum terdaftar atau belum diakui oleh organisasi Islam dunia.
وعندنا في طبعا ملاحظة اللي هي بطاقة المنتج الغذائي اللي هو متطلبات المواصفة أو مواصفات البطاقة، وعندنا بقايا طبعا المبيدات مرتفعة في بعض المحاصيل الزراعية، طبعا هذا بتسبب رفض الإرساليات.
Juga untuk beberapa produk lain seperti produk sayuran atau buah-buahan yang jumlah atau kadar pestisidanya masih belum standar.
وطبعا عندنا الشهادات الصحية خاصة للأسماك والدواجن تكون غير مستوفاة، وبعض المنتجات على ألوان صناعية.
Juga untuk produk ikan-ikan dan produk makanan yang menggunakan pewarna buatan.
بخصوص الاستيراد طبعا عندنا احنا موقعين، انا ان شاء الله باذن الله هرسلها، اللي هو طبعا موقع الغذاء والدواء، وفي موقع يخص منصة فسح.
Saya juga akan membagikan dua link atau dua tautan. Yang pertama link ke SFDA dan yang kedua link ke situs Fasah.
طبعا هذه الموقعين كلها بتخدم اللي هو موضوع الاستيراد بالغذاء والدواء. طبعا هنا بالنسبه للغذاء والدواء الاخوان معنا حيشرحوا اكثر مني وحيتفصل. بالنسبه للجمارك بالنسبه للاستيراد هي طبعا الفاتوره والبوليصه الشحن، وطبعا في نظام ال 24 ساعه، واتوقع حتى لو تقدم التاجر اليوم بمستندات مكتمله قبل الوصول للباخره بيتم الفسح عن طريق الجمرك والغذاء والدواء، اذا كان طبعا خارج في المسار السريع او خارج المخاطر.
Ya, yang perlu diperhatikan dari dua situs yang sudah di-share, yang disebutkan sebelumnya, itu khusus untuk produk makanan dan minuman yang akan masuk ke Arab Saudi, bisa melalui kedua situs itu untuk mencari tahu regulasinya. Dan juga terkait Saudi Customs, di Saudi Customs terdapat jika surat-suratnya semua lengkap, invoice dan polisi syahn.
طبعا احنا دائما بنقول هي اكبر اشكاليه بالنسبه للمصدرين عدم علمهم بالاشتراطات الموجوده في الدوله عندنا، او خلاف الاشتراطات. اعتقد بامكان اليوم اي مصدر يسجل عندنا هنا في البلد، وباذن الله ما راح تتعطل بضائعه. هذا بشكل عام بالاستيراد. وانا سويت ملف ممكن يستفيد منه المصدرين من جهه اندونيسيا، واي استفسار او سؤال احنا موجودين، يعني كان في الغرفه التجاريه او كان في الجمارك او كان في الغذاء والدواء.
Ya, untuk regulasi yang diperlukan sudah tertera di PowerPoint dan di situs-situs pihak terkait yang sebelumnya sudah disebutkan. Di sana bisa dicari apa saja regulasi yang dibutuhkan atau sertifikat yang dibutuhkan untuk impor dari Indonesia. Juga bisa di-share mungkin materi yang sudah dijelaskan oleh beliau.
أشكركم على هذا اللقاء وأكرر شكري للجميع، وأعتذر عن الملف اللي ما قدرنا نستعرضه، وأكرر شكري لكم جميعا.
Saya sangat berterima kasih dan merasa terhormat sudah dijadikan salah satu pembicara, dan mohon maaf sekali karena ada kendala teknis terkait penampilan PowerPoint atau slide yang dari beliau tidak jalan dengan baik.
Syukran jazilan, Dr. Ibrahim Ahmed. So we will next the presentation will be followed by Mr. Mustafa Ibrahim Al-Bayumi. He is an importer of Indonesian processed food product and CEO of the Al-Rakib Universal. I will give the floor to Mr. Mustafa Ibrahim Al-Bayumi. The presentation will be 15 minutes.
Ada belum tuh? Bicaranya Pak Ibrahim, ayo ya.
Oh, Pak.
معلش أستاذ مصطفى يمكن الصوت عندك ما واصل.
ألو، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام
ورحمة الله وبركاته.
مجموعة الرقيب العالمية من المؤسسات الوطنية اللي بتستورد المواد الغذائية من جنوب شرق آسيا. تفضل يا عبد العزيز.
Perusahaan Al-Rakib memiliki spesialisasi untuk impor produk dari negara ASEAN atau
على مدى أكثر من 20 سنة.
selama 20 tahun.
ومن ضمن المنتجات الغذائية اللي بتستوردها المجموعة من دولة إندونيسيا.
Dari beberapa produk yang diimpor ada beberapa produk yang diimpor dari Indonesia oleh perusahaan Al-Rakib, yaitu
المجموعة وكلاء لكبرى الشركات في إندونيسيا مثل جارودة، شركة جارودة، وشركات كوكيتا، وشركات أملي، كروبوك، بيلبيس، ومياسي، كلها شركات بتشتغل في مجال تصدير المواد الغذائية مثل السناكس، السناك فود.
Beberapa produk yang diimpor oleh perusahaan Al-Rakib dari salah satu seperti perusahaan Garuda, kacang Garuda, perusahaan Kokita, dan Belibis, dan kerupuk, dan beberapa produk snack lainnya.
وبتقوم المؤسسة مجموعة الرقيب في موسم العمرة والحج بتأمين الكثير من المواد الغذائية في جميع المناطق في مكة وفي جدة وفي المدينة المنورة.
Juga perusahaan Al-Rakib memasok makanan atau catering untuk kebutuhan haji dan umrah di 3 kota, yaitu Makkah, Madinah, dan di Jeddah.
الحقيقة الدكتور إبراهيم وضح بشكل مستفيض كل الإجراءات والمشاكل اللي بتمر بالتجار السعوديين المستوردين بسبب البطاقة أحيانا، وأحيانا بسبب عدم الاطلاع الشركات المصدرة على الشروط والمواصفات الخاصة بهيئة الغذاء السعودية.
Dr. Ibrahim menyampaikan beberapa poin yang sangat penting dan bagus untuk importir khususnya yang ada di Arab Saudi terkait beberapa kesalahan yang sering terjadi mungkin dari pihak importir atau pihak eksportir juga.
في السنة هذه طبعا من بعد أحداث اللي حصلت بسبب كورونا وتأثيرها العالمي قلت عملية الاستيراد من إندونيسيا في خلال الأيام ال3 أشهر الأخيرة هذه.
Terkait pandemi corona, beberapa bulan belakangan atau terakhir ini terjadi penurunan impor kami dan penjualan.
ولكن إن شاء الله في المستقبل بيكون مجال العمل أفضل، وبنأمل في تحسين مستوى البطاقة الملصقة على المنتجات، بحيث إن شاء الله الإرسالية بمجرد ما بتوصل إلى الموانئ السعودية يتم فسحها مباشرة، وإن نأمل من الإخوة المصدرين الشركات المصدرة في أندونيسيا التواصل أول بأول مع المستوردين لعلاج المشاكل اللي بتظهر للمستورد.
Terkait kartu atau stiker yang perlu dilengkapi oleh importir agar produk mereka bisa langsung keluar sebelum di batas waktu 24 jam. Insya Allah ke depannya semua importir akan mulai menerapkan. Juga terkait eksportir, mungkin regulasi-regulasi seperti ini sebaiknya dikomunikasikan dengan importir yang ada di Arab Saudi, karena mereka lebih ngerti dan lebih memahami apa syarat-syarat yang terbaru yang dibutuhkan sehingga produk mereka tidak tertahan.
الخطوات الخاصة بعملية التصدير والكلام ده بنوجهه للإخوة الشركات المصدرة، في خطوات ضروري يكونوا مطلعين عليها. أهم شيء الشركة المصدرة تكون على اطلاع بكل اللي بتطلبه هيئة الغذاء والدواء السعودية في البطاقة، تكون مستوفية المنتج والمكونات، ما يكون فيها أي شيء غير مطابق، لأن المنتجات بتوصل هنا بتدخل على المختبر وبيتم فحصها، وهنا بيحصل مشاكل إما يكون في خلاف في المكونات المكتوبة على البطاقة غير المكون الفعلي اللي بيتم فحصه.
Ya, beberapa poin penting yang mungkin bisa menjadi catatan untuk eksportir yang ada di Indonesia agar mengikuti regulasi yang sudah diterapkan oleh SFDA, diantaranya mencantumkan ingredients atau bahan-bahan apa saja yang ada di kandungan makanan tersebut, dan harus sesuai dengan hasil lab, jadi tidak berbeda hasilnya. Mungkin itu.
واحنا بنرحب بصراحه باي شركه مصدره انها تطلعنا على منتجاتها، وان شاء الله بنامل في التعامل معها في يوم من الايام. يعني الكلام موجه لجميع الاخوه المصدرين، الشركات الاندونيسيه في جميع انحاء اندونيسيا لها رغبه في عرض منتجاتها. احنا لنا فرعنا مجموعه الرقيب لها فرع في جاكرتا، وبامكانهم يتواصلوا مع فرعنا ان شاء الله.
Dan yang terakhir mungkin dari saudara-saudara kami eksportir dari Indonesia, mungkin jika kami sangat menyambut katalog atau tawaran dari perusahaan-perusahaan Indonesia, akan kami pelajari. Mungkin bisa juga menghubungi cabang atau kantor kami yang ada di Jakarta, Ar-Raqib, kantor Ar-Raqib.
المنتجات الأندونيسية بصراحة في منتجات كثير الجودة عالية الجودة ومطابقة للمواصفات السعودية، وده شيء مبشر إن شاء الله في المستقبل بتزداد انتباه للإخوة المصدرين والتواصل دائم مع المستوردين بحيث المنتج يمر من الموانئ السعودية بدون ما يتم رفضه.
Kualitas produk Indonesia, khususnya produk makanan, sudah cukup bagus dan cukup baik, sehingga menurut Mustafa, produk-produk tersebut sudah memenuhi standar yang ada di Arab Saudi makanan, sehingga produk-produk tersebut akan lebih mudah masuk ke Arab Saudi.
الإخوة في المكتب التجاري الأندونيسي في جدة وفي قنصلية في جدة وفي الرياض عندهم بيانات مجموعة رقيب للي يحب يتواصل معنا من الشركات المصدرة الأندونيسية إن شاء الله.
untuk eksportir dari Indonesia bisa menghubungi KJRI, ITPC atau atas perdagangan di Riyadh untuk alamat dan kontak perusahaan Arab.
مستقبل التعاون بين الشركات الأندونيسية وبين المصدرة في أندونيسيا والشركات المستوردة في المملكة إن شاء الله مستقبل واعد باللي يحقق المصلحة بين البلدين إن شاء الله.
Masa depan ekspor impor antara Arab Saudi dan Indonesia sangat bagus dan insya Allah juga menguntungkan kedua belah pihak, Arab Saudi maupun Indonesia.
في النهاية بحب أشكر الإخوة اللي أتاحوا لنا اللقاء اليوم وبنأمل في التعاون دائم مع الشركات الأندونيسية إن شاء الله.
Kami berterima kasih kepada KJRI dan panelis yang lainnya yang sudah meluangkan waktunya Ar-Raqib untuk memberi presentasinya, dan terima kasih.
Syukran.
Penjelasan Mr. Mustafa Ibrahim Al-Bayumi. And the next presentation will be Mr. Irwansyah from Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Riyadh. I'll give the floor to Mr. Irwansyah.
Thank you, Pak Win Zatmo. Thank you very much for your time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear me, Pak? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Sabah Khair. Selamat pagi menjelang siang di Riyadh, Arab Saudi, dan selamat siang menjelang sore di Indonesia. It's an honor for me to participate in this webinar. I want to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to my colleagues in Jeddah for organizing this webinar, and also my greeting to our keynote speaker, Bapak Kasan Mugri, DG Export Department, Field of Trade, and Bapak Eko Hartono, Consul General in Jeddah, and our previous speaker from Jeddah Chamber, Dr. Ibrahim Ahmad Muhammad Al-Lakian from Soriki, Mr. Mustafa Al-Ibrahim Al-Bayumi from Ar-Raqib. Hayakumullah. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I also greetings to our discussion today from Saudi and Indonesia Food and Drug Authority and all participants in today's seminar. I hope all of us are doing well. Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to share you some information regarding the trade relation between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia, and allow me to deliver my presentation in English. First slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide.
أيوة. هو كلمني.
Pak Ipai, can you show my presentation, please?
Oh, it's already open.
Already open, Mr. One.
Oh, okay. I don't see it. First slide. Let me start with my first slide. I would like to ask you to look at the bilateral trade between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia, and also with the world over the last 5 years. I start my first slide by showing you that Indonesia and Saudi Arabia are members of the G20. As a member of the G20, Indonesia and Saudi Arabia contribute to the G20 economies that account for around 90% of the gross world product and 80% of the world trade. In 2019, in 2019, world trade reached a total of $42,065 billion, consisting of $32,430 billion in trade in goods, and $9,635 billion in trade and services. In 2020, Saudi Arabia becomes the host and president of the G20 meeting and summit. I just want to show you that as members of the G20, Indonesia and Saudi Arabia are among the important players in international trade. Second slide, please. Let's look at the performance of the trade between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia, and also with the world from 2015 until 2019. We can see from this chart the total trade between the two countries and with the world fluctuated in some direction, decreased in 2016 and then increased in 2017 and 2018, then again decreased in 2019. Comparing to Indonesia, Saudi Arabia total trade with the world is much higher, with a total of $400 billion compared to Indonesia with a total of $338 billion in 2019. Saudi Arabia constantly enjoy increasing trade surplus with the world and reached a peak up to $157 million in 2018 when Saudi Arabia doubled its export compared to imports. Next, okay. Previous slide, please. Back to previous slide. Okay. Comparing to Indonesia, Saudi Arabia total trade with the world is much higher, with a total of $400 billion compared to Indonesia with a total of $338 billion in 2019. Arabia constantly enjoys increasing trade surplus with the world and reached a peak up to $157 billion in 2018 when Saudi Arabia doubled its export compared to import. Saudi Arabia export in 2018 reached $294 billion and imports around $137 billion. As we know that Saudi Arabia is one of the largest oil producing and exporting countries in the world, so the trade surplus heavily depended on the oil sector. On the contrary, Indonesia has experienced a decline in the trade surplus with the world. We can see from this chart. Although in general, total Indonesia export and import experienced growth, but the growth of import was a little bit faster than export. So the result was Indonesia's trade balance became deficit since 2018, up to $8.7 billion. Let's take a closer look at the bilateral trade between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. How big is the Indonesian market share to Saudi Arabia, or vice versa, compared to the world? We can see from this chart that total trade between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia in 2019 reached $5.07 billion. This amount was relatively very small compared to the total trade with the world, which reached $405 billion for Saudi Arabia and $338 billion for Indonesia. It means that the share of world trade was only 1.2% for Saudi Arabia and 1.5% for Indonesia. Indonesia export to Saudi Arabia in 2019 reached around $1.5 billion, or account for only 0.9% of total Indonesia export to the world, and imports reached $3.57 billion, or account for 2.1% of total Indonesia import. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia export to Indonesia account for 1.4% of total Saudi Arabia export with the world, and import market share from Indonesia account for 1% compared to the total Saudi Arabia export with the world. Next slide, please. Let's look at the main trading partners of both countries, Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. I noticed that there are 8 main trading partners, namely China, USA, Japan, Singapore, India, South Korea, Emirates Arab, and Malaysia. China is still the biggest export and import players for both Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. In 2019, Indonesia suffered from a huge deficit with China, reaching around $17 billion. Besides with China, Indonesia also experienced a trade deficit with other major trading partners such as Singapore, reaching $4.6 billion. Saudi Arabia, $2.06 billion. South Korea, $1.2 billion. And UAE, $712 million. Indonesia enjoyed a large trade surplus with USA up to $8.5 billion. India $7.5 billion. Malaysia $1.02 billion, and Japan $341 million. On the contrary, apart from the USA and France, with Saudi Arabia experienced trade deficit, respectively up to $3.6 billion and $789 million, Saudi Arabia enjoy a trade surplus with almost all major trading partners, especially with China, India, Japan, and South Korea, which total nearly $100 billion, or accounts for almost 70% of total Saudi's trade surplus with the world in 2019. China and USA are the main importers for Saudi Arabia, which supplied respectively around 18.8% and 11.8% of total Saudi Arabia's import from the world, followed by the UAE 7.2% and Japan 4.5%. Saudi Arabia ranked 20th out of Indonesia's export destination and ranked 12th out of Indonesia import destination. Meanwhile, Indonesia ranked 18th out of Saudi Arabia export destination and ranked 16th out of Saudi Arabia import destination. Next slide, please. If we eliminate the oil sector and focus on the non-oil trade, we found that Indonesia also suffered huge non-oil trade deficit with China, reaching around $18.7 billion. As we can see from this data, almost 1/3 of Indonesia's total imports came from China. Besides with China, Indonesia also suffered a trade deficit with other major trading partners such as Thailand, around $3.9 billion, Japan $1.8 billion, South Korea $1.19 billion, and Singapore $112 million. Indonesia enjoy a large non-oil trade surplus with USA up to $9.5 billion, India $7.8 billion, Filipina $5.9 billion, Malaysia $1.8 billion, and Vietnam $1.3 billion, and also with UAE around $623 million, and of course with Saudi Arabia amount to $767 million. Next slide, please. Next slide. Let's take a closer look again at the bilateral trade between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. The trade balance is heavily in favor of to Saudi Arabia, particularly on the oil sector, even though Indonesia enjoys non-oil surplus from Saudi Arabia, but the deficit in the oil sector is much higher than the surplus in the non-oil sector. This is mainly due to the fact that Indonesia is highly dependent on the oil import, especially crude oil, which for around 86% of total Indonesia's oil and gas imports from Saudi Arabia. In 2019, Indonesia imported around 50% of the total crude oil needs from Saudi Arabia. Let's look at this graph. The trade deficit peaked in 2018 with a deficit of $3.68 billion. This highest deficit was triggered by significant increase in the oil trade deficit of $1.3 billion, or experiencing 55% growth from $2.3 billion in 2017 to $3.6 billion in 2018. The trade deficit in 2018 was contributed also by a sharp increase in Indonesians' non-oil imports from Saudi Arabia by $451 million, or experiencing 56% growth from $8.8 million in 2017 to $1.26 billion in 2018. On the other hand, Indonesia's non-oil export to Saudi Arabia in 2018 reduced by $156 million from $1.37 billion in 2017 to $1.2 billion in 2018. The increase in the non-oil imports, coupled with a decline in non-oil export, has caused a deficit for Indonesia around $37 billion, and the trade deficit in 2018 became the first Indonesia's deficit in the non-oil gas and sector with Saudi Arabia. On the contrary, however, in 2019, the trade deficit fell for 44% from $3.6 billion to $2.06 billion. This drop was triggered by a sharp decrease in Indonesia's import from Saudi Arabia. The oil imports reduced by $817 million, or declined 22% from $3.6 billion in 2018. Meanwhile, there was a sharp rise in the Indonesia non-oil export to Saudi Arabia around to $279 million from $1.2 billion in 2018 to $1.5 billion in 2019. The increase in the non-oil export accompanied US dollar. Next slide, please. Now, we look at the main non-oil products which are exported between the two countries. Passenger cars and crude palm oil are the biggest Indonesian export to Saudi Arabia. Paper, tire, other food preparation, and wood charcoal. Saudi Arabia's non-oil export commodities to Indonesia are dominated by products for industrial needs, especially plastic and organic chemicals, which account for 86% of Saudi Arabia's total non-oil export to Indonesia. Next slide, please. Let's look at the Saudi Arabia export and import commodities. Mineral products make up a large portion of export, around $203 million, or up to 77.7% of total export in 2019. Followed by plastic and rubber and goods with a share of export up to 7.4%, and products of the chemical with an export share of 7%. These commodities, especially mineral products, produce a huge trade surplus to Saudi Arabia, while other products suffer trade deficit. Machinery and mechanical plants and vehicles, aircraft vessels account for the largest share of imports, around 42%, and followed by chemical products with a share of import of 9.7%, and base metals and articles of base metals around 8.7%. Machinery and mechanical of plants and vehicles, aircraft vessels make up a large portion of trade deficit, around $51.5 billion. The share of import from food products account for 14%, or amount to $20.1 billion. Saudi Arabia food imports are mainly vegetable products, prepared foodstuff, and live animals. Next slide, please. This is
Erwan,
yes.
Waktunya udah habis.
Yeah, this is last slide. During the last 3 years, the value of imported food products has not changed much, especially in 2018 and 2018. In 2019, imports of vegetable products decreased by $1.5 billion, down 17%. Animal or vegetable fats decreased $134 million, down 14%, while prepared foodstuff and live animals grew respectively 3.3% up to $193 million and 5% up to $219 million. Saudi Arabia is very dependent on food imports. In 2019, Saudi Arabia experienced a trade deficit on prepared foodstuff of $5.5 billion, live animals $3.5 billion, vegetable products $6.8 billion, and animal or vegetable fats of $588 million. To conclude my presentation, I would like to say that Saudi Arabia is one of the biggest potential markets for Indonesia in the Middle East. The relations between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia are complementing each other. Saudi Arabia with its oil and gas export and Indonesia with its non-oil gas commodity. This mutually beneficial trade cooperation should be improved in the future. We encourage Indonesian businesses to increase the quality of their products to meet the requirements set by the Saudi Food and Drug Authority. Of course, last but not least, the product prices must be very competitive. Thank you for hearing my presentation. Back to the moderator.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I will, right now, I will invite from SFDA, Mr. Ali Al-Khalaf or Mr. Ahmed Al-Hajjaj to make a presentation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everybody. It is our pleasure to participate in this webinar, and on behalf of my colleagues from Saudi Food and Drug Authority, we are happy to share some information related to food control in Saudi Arabia. I'll give you just a short brief about what scenario on food business that Saudi Food and Drug Authority doing at border inspection posts. The Saudi Food and Drug Authority has four main sectors: food, drug, medical devices, and operations. The main objectives of Saudi FDA is to ensure the food safety and enhance the wholesomeness throughout the food chain. The vision is to be a leading and international science-based regulator to protect and promote public health. Now, what sort of food import procedures at border inspection posts? We are doing such procedures when the food consignment arrived at border inspection posts. The documentary check, then the identity check, then the physical check and lab check, then the complying the consignment with related technical regulations and standards on food. Any fail in these stages, the consignment will be rejected, and the justification for the rejection will be sent to the Saudi customs. What are the food inspectors doing at the border? They are responsible for performing the following tasks. The identity check, they check the food items contained in the consignment, and they are checking up the conformity with the accompanying documents. Then the physical check or the physical examination. All food items contained in the consignment should be in conformity with the technical regulations and standards. And the labeling requirements are met as laid down by the technical regulations and standards of the GCC countries, applied to all the representative types of food in the consignment, including the inner temperature of the container and the food items. Then the laboratory testing. Most food products are subjected to laboratory tests, especially if they are the first arriving shipments. The food inspector refer to the authorized, all food labs are referred to the authorized labs. Any consignment could be rejected and prevented entry to the Saudi market at any point of the above mentioned stages of inspection. If a food item does not require a corrective action or no instance of non-compliance in found, the food item are released on the same day and referred to the customs for final clearance. Now, what sort of documents are checked up in the border inspection posts? The original invoice, halal certificate, certificate of halal slaughtering if it's of animal origin, health certificate, and then GMO certificate if the food is GM modified, organic certificate, COC, and others. The food legislation or regulation issuing and publishing technical regulations and standards on food, agricultural product, and food contact materials. Preparation and adoption of technical regulations, national specifications, and circulars on food and agricultural products. We are also working as an accredited focal point for the Kingdom in Codex, a notification of draft technical regulation for food to the WTO, which is representing the sanitary and phytosanitary measures agreements. Then the registration and licensing of private food labs. On the level of regulation, we are applying such technical regulations and standards, and these are some examples of food of common food regulations. For example, GSO 9, which is concerned with the labeling. GSO 150 is the expiration of food products, and 2500 is the food additives allowed in food. These are also some other examples on food technical regulations and standards. For example, for meat products, sausages, other products like canned meat and other foodstuffs. Thank you very much for your listening. If you have any inquiry or question, you can contact us through these channels. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khalaf. It is very useful for us. And I will invite from the BP POM, Ibu Neni Yulisa. Could you make a presentation? Thank you. Can you hear me? Ibu Neni Yulisa? Or representative from the BP POM?
Izin Bapak, nanti teman saya Betty yang akan presentasi.
Silakan.
Ya.
Kenapa?
Yang mau presentasi siapa?
Yang presentasi siapa namanya?
Betty, Pak.
Evi.
Betty.
Heti.
Betty Nugraha.
Betty Nugraha.
PT Nugraha.
Selamat siang Pak, mohon izin apakah yang share screen saya atau dari situ?
Dari Ibu silakan share screen.
Oke, baik.
Kami sudah mendengar jelas suara Ibu. Silakan.
Excuse me, but I cannot share my screen right now.
Already. I'll give you as a co-host to share just now.
Just now, okay.
Melihat?
Could you see my screen right now?
Yes, yes. Very clear.
Okay, very good. Thank you. It is a very good opportunity for us to be here to share what about our agency, the Indonesian FDA, Food and Drug Authority. Actually, we have prepared some slides for today, but I think the time is run out, so we would like to skip until the important part of this presentation. Yeah. Actually, there are three agenda. It's about the food safety control in Indonesia and import-export processed food for Indonesia and also export processed food to Arab Saudi. When it comes to I just skip for this slide and also, okay, next slide. So basically in Indonesia, there are food control system. We are doing collaboration between government and also the producer and also for the consumer. And we do what we call pre-market evaluation and also post-market evaluation. What we do in the pre-market evaluation is the audit for the GMP compliance. It's including for the raw material itself, premises, process, equipment, and the employee. And also we do the product evaluation for food safety, quality and nutrition, and also evaluation for the food label itself. And then when it has evaluate and then comply with the regulation, there will be the BPOM approval, that what we call the register number for food. We got ML number for the food that imported and MD number for the food that produced in Indonesia. And afterward, we also do the post-market control. What we do in the post-market is inspection for the product in the distribution facilities. And also we do food sampling and testing. And we also do monitoring on label and advertisement. Why we do that? In order to ensure that the product that available in the market is compliant with the approved data during the pre-market evaluation. And also regarding the halal statement is the integral part of the food label, and if it can be attached at the label if it is already approved by MUI, or right now what we call BPGBH. Okay. Just skip for this presentation. Basically, we would like to explain that product that come into Indonesian market shall meet our standard, and here's the regulation. And when the food is deemed or suspected to have health risk, may be in danger to human life, so we are able to collect the sample and do the laboratory testing. For export-import system for Indonesia, we have online system, and the license or the approval is valid for each system, and it is real-time evaluation, and the recommendation will be issued within 24 hours. And here's the name of our directorate. This is the name, the directorate that in charge for the export and import system for food. Okay, what we do in the importation system, we do the document evaluation in order to evaluate whether it is comply with the regulation or not. What we do is paperless evaluation. So all the document is submitted online and also the evaluation is conducted. But if, as I mentioned before, if we deem something that it is may endanger to health, that we are able to do the physical checks and sampling. And when it comes to the export license, there are many ministries that is able to issue the export license. For the Indonesian FDA itself, it only issued the export license for processed food, and Ministry of Agriculture is responsible for the fresh product. Fresh product, it's mean both of them, either for animal origin or from vegetable. And the last but not least is the Ministry of Marine and Fisheries. They will issue the export license for fisheries product. From the Indonesian FDA, there are two types of export license. The first one is health certificate. Basically, this certificate is state that this product is fit for human consumption. But other certificate that the Indonesian FDA also issued is the certificate mentioning that this product not only fit for human consumption, but this product also freely sold in Indonesia. For this, because this is just our services in order to increase the export from Indonesia to other countries. Here's the requirement for the export, the application letter and also statement letter, and also the copy of registration number and approved label if it is already registered. We also can issue the registration, the food that registered in Badan POM in the Indonesian FDA, and also that registered in the district level on the health province. Here's the example of the certificate of resale. So we have barcode here, and all the document is digitally signed, and we have the barcode. So the company, the buyer, can scan the barcode and in order to seek the authenticity of the document. There's another example of the health certificate that we are issuing. This is unloaded over. Okay. The other platform that we have in order to support the export is the export consultation desk. So in this platform, we have regulation and policy from other countries. So the exporter from Indonesia, they can find the regulation and policy from other countries easily through this platform. This is last but not least, but this is the right now about the export processed food to Arab Saudi. We all may aware that right now as FDA, for the product that originally come from poultry product, fisheries and meat, they conducted two kind of registration. The first one is food registration, and the second one is the registration for establishment. And in order for the registration establishment, SFDA has to appointed the Indonesian competent authority, and all the ministry has agreed that the competent authority from Indonesia regarding this matter is the Indonesian FDA. So there are a number of questions in the country questionnaires that we have to fulfill. And right now, at that time in January 2020, the Indonesian FDA through the embassy, we have submitted the country questionnaire. And the next month in February, we conduct the teleconference with the SFDA. Based on the teleconference in February, there are two important points that we have to follow up. One is the English translation of the regulation. So it's mean that all the regulation that mentioned in the questionnaire, SFDA requested the English translation. And right now there are 45 regulation has been translated into English, and it can be accessed. Some of them is already officially translation, but some of them is unofficially translation. Okay. And the next one regarding the registration or approval number for establishment. We do agree that we are going to use the nomor induk berusaha or NIB as a single number identity for food business operator. However, some of the companies, they have submitted the registration to SFDA, but some of them got rejection. But also there are some of the companies, they only got the reference number, but until now there is no response from SFDA. So I think right now is a good opportunity for us whether we can discuss with the SFDA itself, what should we do? What should we do to solve this matter? So one of the rejection that we are received is like this. So let me read it. So your registration request was rejected for this reason. So they were rejected because of the registration certificate and because of the industrial certificate. And there is a note on the email that all documents must be in English for the registration approval number. And the registration approval number is not matching with the uploaded document. So regarding this matter, the Indonesian government has agreed that we will issue the NIB or the as single identity number. We will issue the document in English. So I think it is a good opportunity to ask. So whether the our colleague from SFDA can clarify if the company will next, they will register again, re-register using the NIB, but we have in English version, would you be accepted for them? Okay. And the next one, I have mentioned before that some of the food business operator that apply to the SFDA, they got first rejection and the other only got reference number, but there is no response until now. I think in this good opportunity, so our colleague from SFDA can explain what we should do to solve this matter. I think that's all, Pak, my presentation right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibu Betty. So the next session will be the question and answer, will be moderated by the Mr. Rifai. So please, Mr. Rifai, I give the floor to you.
Thank you very much for the time, Pak Wind. And we have received so many questions from the participants. There are more than 20 questions already addressed to the panelists. So if we classify it, actually there are four types of the questions. They are about the potentials and opportunities and inquiry of food products in Saudi markets. And the second is about the certificates and documents that should be submitted to as a requirements for the SFDA. and about the inquiries. So here we don't answer one by one, but we have classified the questions from the participants. First questions we take from Mr. Kilat, Bu Evita, and from Ampuh, East Java, and from Ms. Arinto. The question is about the potentials and opportunities of Indonesian food in Saudian market, and how is the mechanisms of the process of submissions documents to SFDA. This is maybe could be answered from the representative of SFDA or Kadin from the Jeddah Chamber, or from the commercial attaché. Maybe if you can take a note. The second questions, maybe because there are about 8 questions. The second question from Ms. Akhyar Amnu. The question is about the importations of dates from Qasim in the form of sukari and ajwa. And Mr. Akhyar have problems with the payment systems and the comfortability. So he's asking about the solution for the payment method. Maybe these questions could be delivered or answered from the Consul General. The third question is from Ms. Sintarama from Tegal City. The question is, we produce organic rice and instant organic powder with hotel brand. Our organic certificate is in office. The question is our organic rice can be accepted in Saudi market using invoice certificates? Maybe the questions could be answered from the trade attaché, or maybe can be from the Consul General. The fourth question is from Muhammad Sheikhun. He said that he's the businessman from the Association of the Briquette Charcoal, and he's producing shisha and barbecue, and he would like to open the distribution office in Saudi Arabia. What are the requirements to open a business or office in Saudi Arabia? Maybe it could be addressed to Dr. Ibrahim from Jeddah Chamber. The fifth question from Ibu Susi Julianti. The question is, are there opportunities for freeze-dried tropical fruit products in Arabian markets? Because they produce also chocolate products, premium chocolate, confectionery, and what are the certificates would be needed beside halal certificates? Maybe this could be answered from the Saudian Food and Drugs Authority, and from the Indonesian Food and Drugs Authority, and from the Kadin Jeddah. We have still four more questions. Maybe this 5 questions first, we want to hear from the panelists and discussion. The floor, maybe we can hear first from Dr. Ibrahim, representative from Jeddah Chamber. The time is yours. Dr. Ibrahim, are you still with us?
Okay, again, please.
The question is about the potential and opportunities for Indonesian product in Saudi Arabia, and the process of submissions to SFDA. How is the process of submissions of documents or certificates to SFDA? And others is about the what are the requirements to open a business office in Saudi Arabia. Then others is about the certificates needed beside halal food.
طبعا كل صنف او بضائع لها يعتبر لها اشتراطات معينه وبحسب نوع الاستيراد وحسب نوع البضاعه، وبالامكان انه يطلع على صفحة الغذاء والدواء فيها جميع الاشتراطات الخاصة بحسب نوع البضاعة بالضبط حسب الصنف المطلوب.
Ya, untuk prosedur atau regulasi barang-barang yang akan masuk ke Arab Saudi bisa dilihat langsung di situsnya FDA atau FASA.
طبعا بخصوص انه فتح مكتب هنا طبعا هذا من اشتراطات وزارة التجارة وبحسب برضه النشاط اللي بغي يستثمر فيه وبإمكانه يطلع برضه على وزارة التجارة وشروطها أو اللي يتواصل معه مباشرة على الإيميل أو التليفون.
Terkait pembukaan perusahaan di Arab Saudi itu masuk ke Kementerian Perdagangan Arab Saudi. Di sana situsnya, di websitenya bisa diakses regulasi apa aja yang dibutuhkan tergantung sektor yang akan dimasuki dan juga mungkin bisa ditelepon, dihubungi via telepon dan email yang ada di website mereka.
في شيء ثاني أو استفسار؟
Can I add to Dr. Aguili's answers?
Okay, please, from Saudi Food and Drugs Authority, please.
Yes.
Sir. Yes, please.
Any local importer in Saudi Arabia would like to import food products are welcome, except the chicken meat, because it is banned from Indonesia. The process starts from registration of importer, registration of food products, and then they can import. If the product is from animal origin, they need halal certificate. They need also halal slaughtering certificate, health certificates. These are accompanying the food consignment. That's all. But you need to have a local importer here in Saudi Arabia, and the importer is a business with the Ministry of Commerce. That's it.
Okay.
Dr.
Thank you very much. Maybe some addition from Indonesian Food and Drugs, please, Bu.
Okay, thank you, Pa. Actually, can I elaborate more for the question to Mr. Ali?
Additional
yes, sure.
questions?
Thank you. Actually, right now, some companies from Indonesia, they are already registered through the SFDA website. They submit the questionnaire that they have to fulfill by the company. And some of them, they got rejection, as I mentioned before in my presentation. But some of them, they has no response yet until right now, although they already get the reference number. So could you please explain with us what should we do to solve this matter? Thank you.
Sure. Can I ask Mr. Ahmed Hajouj to answer this question, because he is specialized in registration or local foreign establishments?
Okay, please, Mr. Ahmed.
Yes, hello. I hope my voice is clear.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I will interfere regarding this.
Can you repeat it again? Are you with us, Ms. Ahmed Hajouj? Hello?
Mr. Ahmed is not here.
Yes,
I think
hello,
there
yes.
is a problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, please continue.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the technical problem. I don't know what happened. But yeah, regarding the question of registration of 16 establishment, We've replied to the application at the same time, and we've asked for some clarification regarding the type of products and with the scientific and trade name. Regarding so some missing information on the self-audit form was not clear, and we've asked for clarification from the Indonesian side, and we've replied to that application at that time.
Okay,
Can I continue my questions? Can I elaborate more, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for your answer. Actually, there are some of the company, they got the rejection, and one of as I mentioned before, that the rejection mentioned clearly that some document that they are uploaded, especially regarding the register number or the approval number, is not matching with the document that they are upload. So so does it help if the document that they are uploading, we are going to issue the document in English? Would you be accepted for that document?
Which document are you talking about? Because you are talking about two different applications. Some establishment have got rejection, and the other was asked for clarification. So please specify which application you are talking about.
Okay, sorry. I'm talking about the application that got rejection. Because the rejection state that, can I share screen again? And I'm showing the rejection email. Can I, Pak?
Yes. Please do.
Yeah, thank you. Excuse me. This is the rejection that they got from the email from the SFDA. So it states that your registration request was rejected for this document as follow. And the first one is the registration certificate, and the second one is the industrial certificate. And also there are at the bottom of the email, it mentioned that the registration approval number is not matching with the uploaded document. At that time, we are agreed from Indonesia that for the submission for the registration number, we submit our single identity, our single business identity, that what we call an EP number. But however, the document that they are submitted at that moment is still Indonesian language. So right now we are issuing this document in English version. So can you accept this document if it is in English version? Thank you.
Please, Mr. Ahmed, if you want to respond to.
Yes. So regarding for the rejection of the registration of the establishment, it also doesn't specify which establishment that has been rejected, because we have a large department. And I will speak to answer in general regarding the rejection. With the Indonesian side, we have ongoing discussions and conferences regarding the allowing of the importation permit to KSA, and we have submitted the country of evaluation questionnaire, and we are waiting to receive that from the Indonesian side. Also, we've requested a visit to the specific products like meat and poultry. And regarding to the coronavirus outbreak, we have delayed the visit to the Indonesian side. So that that is one reason for not allowing specific products from Indonesia, because it's related to a visit with the technical team. Regarding the if that rejection was regarding the meat and poultry establishment, otherwise if it's a fishery establishment, we have requested the scientific and trade name of the specific fish species that that the establishment want to export, and we are waiting also for this type of information regarding those fisheries. For the rejection reasons that's mentioned in this slide, registration certificate and industrial certificate, I need to go back to my colleague with this information, and we will reply and have the information reply to the Indonesian side regarding that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your explanation. We will wait for your confirmation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can we just, I will give you the contact, the email. So can you send all the inquiries through this email? Yeah, it is here. cec@sfda.gov.sa.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
We are in Industrial and Investment Support Center that
Yes,
we can connect you, all of you, if you have any technical questions, that we can connect you with the specific department that you need regarding the registration or the or anything, or clearance or standards, anything that you want to ask about, you can contact us through this email.
Oh, is this the same email with in the slides? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you very much
CEC.
for the information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we can continue to other panelists who want to respond to the questions. Maybe this time we can ask from Consul General, Sir Eko Hartono, to respond to the questions. It's about the dates import, and maybe it's asking about the organic rice and instant organic powders in Saudi Arabia.
Sorry. Ini bisa.
Ya, bisa.
Ini bisa.
Bisa.
Excuse me, from SFDA, could you stop the screen? Thank you.
Ini yang apa itu namanya? Bukan yang SFD. Is it okay? Okay. So, but thank you, the moderator. But I would like to touch a little bit on the previous discussions on SFDA, because this is very relevant. A lot of questions have been raised of whether SFDA will continue having an inspection in Indonesia. I think this should be touched upon in this discussion, and I would like to perhaps have some clarifications from our colleagues from SFDA, because what I heard from the previous, I don't know, several months ago before the COVID, is that SFDA and IFDA, BPOM, have agreed to have inspection by SFDA officials to a number of companies in Indonesia who apply for these registrations. And so whether this kind of arrangement has been made, hopefully after the COVID pandemic, and then we'll continue having the inspection by SFDA, because otherwise we cannot move forward with the certification from SFDA. Could you a little bit elaborate on this, colleagues from SFDA, before I answer the questions on payment method? Thank you.
You mean the visits to Indonesian facilities to inspect them?
Yeah, because what I heard from our colleagues in Riyadh and others is that one of the things that you want to do with regard to registration is that you want to have inspection on a number of facilities in Indonesian companies, whether they comply already with regulation and so on and so forth, so that eventually you can issue your say certification. Is that what you require from us, and whether you will continue with the inspection?
Yes, actually, yes. For the visit, it is related to the country evaluation questionnaire that we have submitted to your side, and we haven't received it until now. So once we receive that information in the questionnaire, we will evaluate it, and based on the type of information, we will organize a visit to the Indonesian side to visit the specific establishment related to the products mentioned in the questionnaire.
Perhaps Ibu Betty would like to clarify beforehand that what I heard, Ibu, that we have submitted already all the questionnaire because we have received the copy of it, a bundle of a questionnaire addressed to SFDA. And of course, FSDA office is in Riyadh, so we got a copy of it. And then what we heard from it, after that submission is that, okay, SFDA has agreed with the questionnaire. What they want to do further is to have inspections. Perhaps, Ibu Betty, would you clarify that we have already submitted all our documents to FSDA?
Yes, thank you, Pak. As far as my knowledge, Pak, we have submitted the country questionnaire in January, Pak, to SFDA. So, in this time, I would like to ask you again, whether have you received our questionnaire? Because we think that you have received it.
The consulate book.
Yeah. No, to SFDA.
I did not hear the last information that she have said, but the questionnaire that have been submitted, we have replied to the Indonesian side regarding some clarifications and missing informations in the questionnaire. So we are still waiting for the country questionnaire. It's not the self-audit form for each establishment. It's the country evaluation questionnaire.
Yes, we already sent the country evaluation questionnaire, and if you were still remember, I think that we have teleconference in February, and during the teleconference we did talk about the questionnaire, and then at that point you mentioned that some regulation that is attached in the questionnaire is still Indonesian language. That's why we then try to translate the regulation. But and also if I still can remember at that time, you asked the list of the company to be like classified, something like that, and we already replayed and we already answer all of your doubt at that moment.
We still haven't received the translation, the English regulation from the questionnaire. So that's why the country evaluation questionnaire is still pending for the Indonesian side.
Okay, thank you. But the country evaluation questionnaire itself, you have received it, isn't it?
We received the main questionnaire, but we have requested some clarification from your side, and we haven't received that until now. Some regulation, some information, missing information. I can reply to you with the number of the letter that we have sent through MOFA, and you can look from that number.
Okay. Can I suggest that both of you, SFDA and IFDA, continue having some bilateral communication, ya Bu ya? So I do hope that you continue having your communication so that we can solve this problem as soon as possible. Yes, with regard to questions from our colleague, Bapak Ibu terkait dengan ini payment method, yes, this is very crucial. We from the consulate are not businessmen. We are not practitioners. Of course, what I do understand is that businessmen have their own judgment, have their own experience on how to do business, and of course, with regard to payment method. But what I would like to suggest is that, of course, based on various experiences, references, and so on and so forth, for exporters, cash in advance is the most secure. Second is of course, letter of credit. But for importers, like the Indonesian businessmen who want to import korma from Saudi Arabia, what I would suggest is LC is the most secured one from our point of view. I don't know, perhaps our colleagues here who have experience already of doing business with our colleagues in Saudi Arabia may put forward their experiences and share with us what is the most secured payment method. Trust is, of course, one of the most important things in business. We know that for sure. So that's my personal suggestion, that LC, letter of credit, is for our colleagues from Indonesia, I think, more secure than cash in advance or telegraphic transfer. Because when you send already your payment to our colleagues here to exporters, then there will be questions if, say for instance, the volume, the value is not compatible with what you expect. So that would create problems in the future. So I would suggest that letter of credit is the most secured one in terms of paying your importation. Yang kedua apa, Pak? Organic rice. I don't know. I don't have any idea of organic rice, no? Because sorry to say that. Maaf ya Pak ya, saya belum terlalu ini nih mengenai organic rice ini. I don't know, any of our colleagues perhaps want to share with us on how to export organic rice to Saudi Arabia, or perhaps our colleagues from Saudi Arabia would like to share with us the market preferences. What type of organic rice that is most desirable, for instance, in the market? I don't know. Sorry ya Pak, saya nggak punya nih Pak. I don't have any references, so I would be wrong if I pretend to be knowledgeable on this issue. Sorry Pak, thank you so much.
Please, we want to hear also from Trade Attaché, Mr. Irwansyah, to have response to the questions. Maybe you have some opinions or ideas, especially about the organic rice, organic powders, and is about the Innovis certificates. Please, Pak Irwansyah, time is yours.
Thank you, Pak. I think we will share like marketing intelligence, inshallah, for another. Because we run out of time, it's better for us to. I will share our intelligence letter, and also with my phone numbers, so we can contact deeply to discuss this matter. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We continue to the second part of the questions. We have here around 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. if you can have a note for the panelists, maybe. The question number 6 is from Mr. Dodi Windayana and Mr. Iwan Budiarta. They asked about the opportunities and inquiries of Indonesian seafood products in Saudian markets, like shrimps, lobsters, tuna, etc. This is maybe can be answer from commercial attaché. And the next question is from Mr. Baskoro Herlambang. He is from PT Daya Negeri Sumber Alam, and the operations of this company in the trading of the crops like brown chocolates, powder, and VCO. He wants to ask also about the opportunities and the potentials for the markets in the Saudi Arabia. Maybe this is also can be answer from Mr. Al-Rakib, Mustafa Al-Bayumi, or from the commercial attaché. Number 8, in general, from the participants also, they are asking about the B2B meeting, and they are asking about the condition and economic situations in Saudi Arabia, and what are the plannings of the Indonesian consulate in the future. Maybe this is also can be answered from our Consul General, Pak Eko Hartono. And the last question is from, because we are running out of time. Last question is we're taking from Mr. Andri Banabi, and he's asking about any opportunities or any programs of training from Saudi Arabia that can be used for training Indonesian small medium enterprises. Maybe this question could be we address to the Jeddah Chamber of Commerce. So the times we have 4 questions. Maybe we start from Mr. Commercial Attaché, Pak Irwansyah. The floor is yours. Are you with us?
Thank you very much. I think I suggest we need like a special session for this to discuss this matter, because there are many questions regarding the certain products like organic rice and also live animals. But I will tell you again that Saudi Arabia for the food markets is in 2019 is around 20. It's like my last slide is around $20.1 billion. It's a huge market. I mean, maybe we will prepare another webinar with our colleagues from Jeddah to specialize this this product. Thank you very much.
Maybe we can have some ideas from our Consul General, Pak Eko Hartono, about the B2B meetings and the plans of Indonesian consulate in the future.
Thank you again, Pak Moderator, Pak Rifai. It's unfortunate that Mr. Ibrahim left already. Pak Ibrahim. Mustafa Ibrahim. Okay, maybe he's not with us. But okay, as for our plan, please be informed that kapan tuh? We'll organize B2B meeting in this form, virtual B2B meeting on the 19th of August. Ya? On the 19th of August, tanggal 19 Agustus, Pak ya, we'll organize B2B virtual meeting between our colleagues, Indonesian exporters and Saudi importers, particularly those who are members of Mecca and Jeddah, ya? Mecca and Jeddah Chamber of Commerce. So that would be, of course, a follow-up action of our discussion today. So B2B, I think that would be more concrete. So I would like to have in this session two sides, businessmen from Indonesia and Saudi Arabia having direct discussions so that they can discuss what to export, what are the requirements, market preferences, and so on and so forth. That would be, I think, more concrete, more fruitful, and more beneficial to all of us. That's our plan. And second of our plan is that we want to have some sort of virtual training, virtual training for our exporters, particularly those small and medium-sized enterprises. Ya, jadi ini pelatihan ekspor bagi teman-teman UMKM, terutama untuk menuju market atau pasar di Saudi Arabia. That would, I think, will give some help or some hints, some support on how to penetrate further Saudi market. And I do hope that our colleagues from Indonesia will participate on those two events, B2B between Indonesian exporters and Saudi importers, virtual. And then the other one is training, export training for small and medium enterprises of Indonesia and how to penetrate market. But I think there will be more seperti ini, seperti coaching clinic gitu ya, coaching more practical, more technical. And the training kapan Pak? The training would be on the 22nd of August, ya, tanggal 22 Agustus Pak. On the 22nd of August we'll have this training, and on the 19th of August there will be B2B. That's our plan. I hope that you'll continue to participate on those two events. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Konjen. And I think there are plenty of the trainings also or facilitation which will provided from the Indonesian Ministry of Trade. So we will hear from Pak Kasan, Director General of National Export Development from the Ministry of Trade, about the programs or the strategies of Indonesian exporters. The time is yours, Pak Dirjen.
Ya, terima kasih. Saya kira respon in bahasa kali ya.
No problem, Pak Konjen. Pak Dirjen,
Baik, saya kira terima kasih Pak Konjen, Pak Eko Hartono tadi sudah mention mengenai training. Betul Pak. Jadi buat teman tadi yang menanyakan adakah fasilitasi pelatihan untuk UKM yang akan ekspor ke Saudi. Saya kira pertama kita ada Balai Pusat Pelatihan Ekspor Indonesia yang menyediakan 2 program. Satu pelatihan atau program yang untuk sifatnya itu diklat di gedungnya Pusat Pelatihan Ekspor, dan itu diberikan kepada para calon eksportir termasuk yang UKM tadi. Dengan ada beberapa fasilitator kita yang ada di gedungnya. Lalu yang berikutnya, bisa juga pelatihan itu orangnya di tempat di daerah, fasilitatornya kita kirim ke daerah yang bersangkutan. Kalau bisa, ini sistemnya kerjasama dengan misalnya Pemda, nanti dikumpulkan berapa orang supaya sama-sama fasilitatornya datang ke lokasi. Itu tipe yang pertama. Tipe yang kedua ada namanya ekspor coaching program. Ini benar-benar mendidik dari awal sampai dia benar-benar ekspor. Durasinya sekitar 1 sampai 10 bulan. Dan itu ada 8 tahapan termasuk bimbingan, kunjungan, kurasi, dan sebagainya, termasuk seleksi dari awal. Produknya sudah punya, legalitas UKM-nya sudah ada, lalu tinggal sentuhan-sentuhan kaitan dengan misalnya sertifikasinya, tadi kan sudah disampaikan juga dari SFDI, ada halal sertifikat, kemudian ada juga yang slaughtering sertifikat. Nah, itu semua di dalam program ekspor coaching program. Ini sangat intensif dan butuh komitmen dari teman-teman UKM yang ingin ekspor. Nah, ini programnya disebutnya, kita sebut sebagai program yang bersifat kontraktual. Nah, ini juga bisa dilakukan bekerjasama dengan Balai Pusat Pelatihan Ekspor ini, yang juga bisa dengan Pemda, bisa juga dengan beberapa perbankan. Kita punya kerjasama juga. Jadi dengan BRI, lalu dengan Bank Indonesia juga ada. Nah, jadi untuk teman-teman yang tadi UKM dari daerah mana, sebaiknya bisa berkomunikasi dengan Balai Pusat Pelatihan Ekspor ini. Ada unit juga yang khusus untuk pelatihan di bidang desain dan juga membantu sertifikasi juga, ya. Itu juga nanti membantu dalam hal packaging dari produk-produk yang akan diekspor. Nah, ini juga ada di Genpen. Nah, itu di Direktorat Pengembangan Produk Ekspor. Ini juga sama seperti yang di Balai Pusat Pelatihan Ekspor, dia memberikan bantuan berupa bagaimana kemasan yang sesuai dengan kebutuhan dari buyernya. Jadi beberapa kasus saya kira pengalaman kita yang baru saja mungkin bulan Mei yang lalu, contohnya misalnya ada UKM dari Jawa Tengah, dari Kebumen kalau tidak salah, dia ekspor gula semut ke Australia. Kontennya barang itu sangat bagus, kualitasnya bagus, tapi kemasannya kurang bisa diterima oleh importer di Australia. Lalu berhubungan melalui virtual meeting juga waktu itu. Webinar seperti ini akhirnya diketemukan dengan Direktorat Pengembangan Produk Ekspor, dibantu untuk packagingnya. Nah, sehingga dibantu selama hampir 2 bulan, sampai pada akhirnya packagingnya diterima oleh importer. Lalu di bulan Mei tanggal 20 kalau tidak salah, terjadilah itu transaksi untuk pengiriman ekspor gula semut dari Jawa Tengah ke Australia. Nah, jadi saya kira itu mungkin teman-teman di UKM yang tadi menanyakan beberapa fasilitasi pelatihan, silakan bisa menghubungi, ada di website Kemendak, masuk ke Dijenpen juga, silakan. Saya kira itu mungkin.
Pak Dirjen.
Ya.
Before we continue, maybe there are some additional insight from Dr. Ibrahim from Jeddah Chamber of Commerce. If you are still with us, if you want to have a comments or response to, especially to the last questions about the training programs from Saudi Arabian side to train Indonesian small medium enterprises. And yes, and also about how to open business entities or business representatives in here in Saudi Arabia. The time is, the floor is yours, Dr. Ibrahim. Hello?
I think he left us.
I think he already left the floor. We are running off the time, but if you still have some questions or some hesitations you want to address to us, maybe you can send through email to Indonesian Consulate, to our email, to maybe you can also send to Indonesian Trade Promotion Center, so we can compile of all of your questions and we can answer one by one. I know that there are some questions already answered directly in the chat menu from Indonesian consulates. So I hope so that this answer somehow maybe not satisfy or your expectations, but it somehow give you directions to some important points. I think I come to the last part, and I give back the floor to Pak Win as the MC of this program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. I would like to make a highest appreciation and thank you for the Jeddah Commerce, for the importer, and for the SFDA also, and for the BPOM. And I hope that the trade relation between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia will continue developing. And both countries will get mutual benefit from trade relation. So para pengusaha ekspor Indonesia, jangan lupa tadi pesan dari Dr. Mustafa Ibrahim ya. Bila ingin yang penting bahwa mencantumkan bahan makanan dan memberikan katalog ya. Ada kantornya di sana di Jakarta. Mungkin bisa di follow up-nya dan juga bisa hubungi KBRI, KJRI, dan juga nanti bisa kita terus menjalin hubungan melalui WA. Terima kasih once again. Thank you very much for all of you. The next meeting will be more concrete about the implementation, about the training, and B2B meeting. Thank you. Goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Pak Konjen dan tim, Pak Adab. Thank you Mr. Ibrahim.
Terima kasih semua Pak Dirjen, terima kasih.
Sudah Pak Dirjen.
Mudah-mudahan kami bisa lebih konkret Pak ya. Mohon dukungannya Bapak.
Ya Pak.
Siap. Ya Pak. Teman-teman pengusaha juga nanti mohon kita bisa terus kontak dengan kami, dengan KJRI, dengan KBRI, sehingga kita bisa follow up ini yang lebih konkret ya. Karena semua kan sedang prihatin ini. Mari kita sama-sama ikut saya meningkatkan ekspor kita. Terima kasih. Terima kasih.
Ya. Ya, terima kasih semuanya teman-teman dari Badan POM, Bu Neni, Bu Lili, dan juga all the King of Saudi Arabian side.
Bu Deputi, terima kasih. Bu Betty, terima kasih.
Sama-sama Bapak semuanya.
Pak Irwansyah.
Terima kasih Pak.
Terima kasih Pak Konjen. Terima kasih Pak Dirjen.
Ya.
Mohon izin untuk live Pak.
Ya.
Syukran. Ma'assalam.
Ya, syukran. Terima kasih.
Ma'assalam.
سلاما. السلام.